Imagine this. For over 600 years, just one book was the go-to medical encyclopedia for doctors all across Europe and the Middle East. It was called the Canon of Medicine, and its author, Ibn Sina, built this incredible, complete system for understanding the human body. So how did he do it? How did he build this masterpiece from the ground up? Right from the very beginning, Ibn Sina tells us exactly what he's trying to do. See, for him, medicine isn't just about fixing you when you're sick. No, it's a science. It's about understanding the whole spectrum of the body, from when it's perfectly healthy to when it's not, all with the goal of keeping you in that healthy, balanced state. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How on earth do you create a single system that explains everything? I mean, from how you digest your food, to why you age, to even how the weather affects your mood? Well, the answer lies in this really beautiful, layered logic that starts with the most fundamental building blocks of the universe itself. Okay, so Ibn Sina's entire system kicks off with the 4 classical elements. His whole argument was that just like these elements make up the world around us, they also form the very foundation of our bodies. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. First up, you've got Earth. Its core qualities: cold and dry. Now, in the body, that translates to structure, to solidity. Think about your bones. They're the solid, stable framework that holds everything else together. That's the earth element at work. Next, we have water, which he defined as cold and wet. Water is all about moisture and flexibility. It's what allows our bodies to be pliable, to move and flow and adapt. Without it, we'd be rigid. Then there's air, which is hot and wet. Air is about lightness, it's about movement and the ability to expand. It's really the breath of life that animates the whole system. And finally, you have fire. Its qualities are hot and dry. Fire is pure energy. It's metabolism, it's transformation. It's the spark inside of us that drives all those chemical reactions that keep us going. So here's the key takeaway. Earth, water, air, and fire, these aren't just some poetic ideas. For Ibn Sina, they represent 4 fundamental qualities: cold, dry, wet, and hot. And these qualities combine in different amounts to create literally everything inside our bodies. This is layer 1 of the system. Okay, so we've got these 4 basic qualities, but the canon explains that inside us, they're not just separate things. They actually mix together to create something that's deeply personal to each and every one of us, our unique constitution, or what he called our temperament. The Arabic term for this is Mizaj, and your Mizaj is your specific, individual blend of those hot, cold, wet, and dry qualities. It's not like you're just a hot type or a cold type. No, it's way more nuanced. It's like your personal physiological signature. And what's really wild is that this idea of temperament applies to everything. Your Mizaj is unique to you, sure, but each of your organs has its own ideal balance too. The heart, for instance, is naturally hotter than the brain. Even the climate where you live has a temperament that's constantly affecting your body. It's a totally integrated way of looking at health. So what happens when this delicate balance gets thrown off? Well, here's an example of what an unbalanced temperament might look like, where the hot and dry qualities are just way too dominant. In Ibn Sina's system, this isn't a personality quiz. This is a real physiological state that could make a person more likely to develop certain kinds of health problems. The canon even applies this to the different stages of our lives. Youth, right, a time of growth and high energy, is seen as naturally hot and wet. But old age, a time when things slow down, is when the body becomes more cold and dry. It just shows how our Mizaj was believed to naturally shift over our lifetime. All right, so we have the elements, and they combine to create our unique temperament. But what's the actual physical stuff that carries these qualities all through our bodies? Well, that brings us to the third and probably the most famous layer of this system, the 4 humours. Now, it's really important to get this. The humours were seen as real, tangible fluids. These weren't just abstract concepts. He was talking about the very essence of nourishment produced from the food we eat, with the job of sustaining every single part of our body. And here is where it all connects. Each humour is basically the physical manifestation of a temperament. So blood is hot and wet. Phlegm is cold and wet. Yellow bile is hot and dry, and black bile is cold and dry. You can see how the whole system just clicks together, right? From the element, to the quality, to the actual fluid in your body. So how are these things made? Well, the canon lays out a really clear process. Food goes into the stomach, then it travels to the liver, which he saw as a kind of refinery. The liver then cooks the food, breaking it down into these 4 essential humors. And from there, they're sent out through the veins to nourish every organ based on what it needs. So we've looked at the elements, the temperaments, and the humors. Now it's time to put it all together to really understand the central, powerful idea that's at the very heart of the canon of medicine. This is it. This is the core thesis of the entire work. Health isn't just not being sick. It's a dynamic, active state of equilibrium. It's a perfect balance of those 4 humors, all tailored specifically to your own unique temperament, your Mizaj. And that idea, well, it changes everything. Because in this view, sickness doesn't primarily come from some germ or virus attacking you from the outside. No, it arises from within. It's a sign that your own internal ecosystem is out of whack. You've got too much of one humor, or not enough of another. The reason this was so revolutionary is that it gave a rational explanation for basically everything. Why does your heart beat? Because its temperament is naturally hot. Why do we slow down as we get older? Our humoral balance is shifting. Why does a specific diet make you feel better? Because it's counteracting an imbalance. It was a complete, logical, coherent system. In the end, Ibn Sina's entire massive medical philosophy can be boiled down to this one simple, incredibly elegant idea. The real job of a doctor wasn't just to fight a disease, but to understand their patient's unique internal balance and help them get it back. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. Today, in our world of super specialized medicine, what can we take away from this ancient, holistic point of view? What's the value in seeing the body not just as a collection of separate parts, but as a single, integrated system that's always trying to find its own unique balance?